So basically, what happened was, went to middle school. I was born in Brooklyn. Middle school was MS-61. That was where it all happened for me. Like elementary and all that, I don't really count any of that because it's like I was still like just young doing shit, so it didn't really matter to me. But middle school is where like music and everything, like even me having my love for chemistry, everything came together like in middle school. So I'll just start there. I always just start there. So we went to MS-61. It was me, my DJ, and my day-to-day. He's right there, Rel Knox. Shout out Rel Knox. And Joey. And Joey was the popular kid. He was mad popular. He was lit. Was lit. Like honestly speaking, like he was destined to be something famous. I just didn't know what at the time, but like he had the look, the mindset at the time, and then still does. But at that time, it was like early for you to even be thinking about shit like that. So he was like the only person in middle school like that like was rapping and he was actually nice. Like he was like, oh nah, yo Joey could give him a run for his money. And back then it was like his name wasn't Joey, it was like it was Jovan. That's his real name. But like they'll say Joe or da da da. They didn't really say Joey yet. Like that wasn't really his name yet. You feel me? His shit was Jov actually. That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, what was it? Because he loved Hove so much, like still does, but he was just like, yeah, nah, Jov. And then he did the Major Look freestyle, and like he was doing mad like old records and trying to show how nice he was and stuff. And then I used to be on the table, and like I wasn't really like a lame kid. I just didn't really give a shit for anybody to know who I was. Like honestly, like I just was like, I'm here to just do school and go home, and then what I do on the block is a whole different activity than what I do in school, right? So it was like, mad countless lunches and stuff like that. Like we're chilling or whatever, and I'm beating on the table, and he's rapping over the shit, and the chemistry is like mad organic, like it's dope. Like it's not like forced or anything. It's just that when I see him rapping a cappella, I'm just like, yo, it's so nice. He just need a beat. So then we playing Call of Duty, like we get closer and closer and da-da-da, we're like best friends, like, So we're playing Call of Duty in, this was like probably my last year in middle school or something like that. Timeline always gets fuzzy for me, but I remember we was on Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and he was telling me, he was like, yo, bro, I think you should just really just make beats, honestly, like, on God. Like, you just need to make it in the program. Start with whatever program, crack it, figure it out. Like, just figure it out. You should make beats, though. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to figure it out. So this is when BitTorrent was a thing. And I asked my older brother to BitTorrent FL Studio for me. And that was, like, the first program that I ever used. And then I started working on stuff for Joey. And then he came up with the idea, like, yo, I want to make this project called New Kid on the Block, and this was before 1999. And I was like, I bet, let's go, let's do it. So I'm sitting there getting nice. This is when I started learning about gross beat and stuff like that. I was using gross beat for a minute. Like I can't even front. Now seeing how popular it is in today's music, I was like, damn, I was there. Like, but anyway, so I'm sending him stuff. And, like, we're making tracks, but, like, the thing with artistry, like, you're going to make a whole bunch of music you're not going to use. Just gear yourself for that. Like, there's going to be so many songs, there's going to be, like, this one thing that you like about it, and you feel it OD, and then, like, for some reason it just never became a thing, or you forgot about it, or it's always going to happen. So we was making records, nothing came out of it. So then when we graduated from middle school, I went to Erasmus, and he went to Murrow. So Murrow is where majority of everybody in Pearl went. I didn't go there. So everybody thinks that I went to Murrow, but I didn't. Like, I had a whole different experience, like, in high school. So I'm going to Erasmus, but I'm still talking to Joey and stuff like that. We're still talking every day. So he meets Steez and Diamond Lewis and Desi and... No, not Desi, because Desi actually went to Erasmus with me. And then Aaron Rose went to Bishop Loughlin. Like I said, we were scattered, but majority of everybody went to Murrow. So, like, Joey and him and Powers, like, basically came up with the idea of Pro Era. And they were looking for new members and stuff like that. So I was considered. But back then, I'm not even like thinking about music as an option at this point. Now I'm in Erasmus, it's a whole different playing field. It's like I'm in my neighborhood, and it's a very like poverty-stricken neighborhood, like, you know. So I'm thinking about trying to survive. I'm not even really trying to think about music and stuff. So I'm learning about chemistry. I'm learning about certain subjects that like I really love, and then chemistry was like the one for me that made me be like, wow, maybe I could just be a chemist in life, because like I really love chemistry. I think this is gonna be it for me. But of course, I was still doing beats on the side and music and stuff like that. But that just wasn't my focus until Joey was like, yo, bro, like, and I was still sending beats, but he was like, yo, bro, I want you to meet somebody I think that's gonna really inspire you and really take stuff serious, da-da-da, this is the third. And I was like, I bet I'm down to meet him, whoever it is, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm down. So I go to Joey's house, and Joey's house was literally like 2, 3, 4 blocks away from Erasmus or whatever. He used to live on Snyder. So I go to his crib, and then I meet Steez, and then he's literally like one of the most like introspective, without saying a word, person I've ever met in my life. I'm like, yo, this guy's not even saying a word, and you could just feel his aura from like across the room and stuff like that. And like he chooses what he really wants to say, honestly. And like when we met, he just was like, yo, I heard you nasty, Kirk nasty, da-da-da. And if any fan, real fan know, like, that's what people call me, like, in the inner circle, Kirk nasty, da-da-da. That's where I get it from. So he was like, yo, I heard you nasty, da-da-da. I ain't like talking about you. And I was like, I ain't know who he was. So it's like I guess Joey's just bigging me up to him OD. So I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but it's lit. I feel the energy. So the funny thing is, before I put 2 and 2 together, they rapped the verses for Survival Tactics to each other, like in front of me. And like I was just chilling, like, because the majority of the time, like when I was at Joey crib and stuff like that, like I'll just be in the background. Like I'm a background kind of dude. Like I'm not really tripping to be in the forefront. I can, obviously. But it's like I don't, like, you know, I don't really care to be, you know. So I'm just chilling in the background, like just watching them go. And it's like seeing, like, you know, like when you see Dragon Ball Z and you got dang, what's the thing before Super Saiyan and it's red? I forgot what's the name of that joint. Yeah, there you go. Bang. It's like seeing that, and then you see Steve's being a Super Saiyan. It's like, damn, bro. Like, it's crazy. Because, in my opinion, I always said it. I was like, yo, Steve's is definitely nicer than Joey, in my opinion. I always felt like that. And I always used to tell him, like, yo, boy, Steve's nicer than you. And you get tight. But it'll make him go harder, though. And that's when you had classics like Hard Knock and, what's another one off the top? Waves and shit like that. Because he was always trying to go beyond the margin and trying to be better than Steve's and da-da-da, the third. It was so fire. Like, it was beautiful. So after that day, I hit him up like, yo, who is that? Like, who the fuck is that? He's like, yo, this is Steve's. I'm telling you. He sent me a couple links, and then he was like, yo, Kirk, we made this thing called Per Era, and I want you to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, I bet I'm down. And I remember I was mad excited. He was like, but don't tell nobody, though. You feel me? He's like, da-da-da. It's kind of like on some Codename Kids Next Door shit. Like, you feel me? So I'm like, I bet, da-da-da. So I'm just cooking up beats and da-da-da, this at the third. So then we could just fast forward a little bit. So then Joey was like, yo, come tomorrow, da-da-da. Let's, I just want you to meet everybody. So then I go meet, like, the whole camp, like, in terms of, like, who is Per Era and stuff like that. And I see a whole bunch of people. It wasn't awkward at first, but it kind of was just like, man, it's too much of us. Man, I don't know about this, man. I ain't gonna front. Honestly speaking, I'll be real. Like, I'm a real person. Like, at the end of the day, I was like, we gonna do a group? Like, we Wu-Tang or something? I'm good. I'm Gucci, bro. Like, I'm producing for you, but I wasn't saying I was against Per Era. I just was like, damn, I ain't know it was this much motherfuckers in. I was like, you know, but it was dope because then it's like you see so many it's like, imagine having, like, you know, 18 slices of the same pie, but it's like, you know, this is raspberry, this is blueberry, but the outside, it looks all the same. But, like, when you cut in the stuffing and stuff, it's different. Like, you know, that's literally what it was to me. Like, we all kids, young kids, just trying to express ourselves in any way, shape, or form that we can. And nobody really gave a fuck about us. And that's what the story was. A lot of people was even asking, like, how did y'all get so, like, how did y'all do it? It's at the third. And honestly speaking, it was just word of mouth. Like, literally getting the word out of, like, it was mad schools that knew who Joey was, like, at the end of the day. And they knew his skill. Like, oh, you know, he nice. Or he the fly nigga. Or he a pretty boy. This at the third. So it's like, that word of mouth, you attach that to talent and you're going to go. You feel me? Honestly. So, fast forward a bit. Joey does his free. So I wasn't there for this part of life, but I was there. But like I wasn't. Like I said, I didn't go tomorrow. So he did the freestyle that went on World Star, and I remember he was trying to put it on World Star. Mad, like he was doing everything he can to put that shit on World Star, dog.
Like, what were some examples of like what he was trying to do to get it out there?
He was trying to find the email. We was about to pay for the email. Like, you know what I'm saying? You trying to figure it out. You trying to find the shit. Like, we didn't really know how to go about it. I'll take myself out of it because, like I said, I wasn't there. Because if I don't even know the name. I don't even remember the name of the video. But it's like one of his mans is beatboxing, and then he's like in this like little corridor. He's rapping, and that was the video that Johnny Shipe seen, and then picked him up, and then he was a cinematic artist. And then that was like a whole different world because then it's like now we're going to Quad and Premiere and we motherfuckers got school tomorrow. I'm like, bro, like we got to wake up in like literally 2 hours, like, you know, and like we're going straight from Premiere and Quad all the way on like right around here, all the way to Brooklyn, all the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? We done rode our fixie bikes to the studio. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're young at the end of the day. We don't got no whips. We ain't got no real bread. We still got the green Metro card and shit. Like, for real. So it's like, it was just dope because then when we were on cinematic, he put us with Smoke Dizza, Big Crit at the time when Big Crit was going stupid with I think it was Forever. Yeah, around that time. Vashi was on the label. I'm trying to remember who else was there. And then of course you already know Smokers Club, so they messing with Wiz Khalifa and Currency off rip. So then it's like you gotta understand, Wiz and Currency was popping his shit when we was coming out. So it's like everybody on the street got camo shorts because of Wiz. So it's like we're next to these people. Like what? We're gonna take all advantage of everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna sit here and learn how to really do this, how to really be a rapper, like how to really, you know what I'm saying? We smoked our first Dutch with Smoke This for real. Like we being real. Like I'm being like, you know, honest. Like